Hi, my name's Matt Hammond and I play for Southern Districts Cricket Club in Darwin. Okay, there are two main variations in bowling spin. An off-spinning delivery will start like this, with the two fingers either side of the ball. The index finger will come over and make the ball spin in that direction. That ball will then spin towards middle stump. There's a few variations that you can have as an off-spinning bowler. So one I like to bowl is just the quicker ball that kind of swings a little bit in the air. So instead of coming out like that, like I explained before, where the seam comes over your finger and spins in that direction, your seam's always straight. So what happens then is instead of going over the ball, you're pushing it out. So it's almost like you're turning your wrist, so it spins in front like that. So your seam of your ball's almost coming down like that. So another one I like to bowl as well is just sort of like a little leg spinner. So as I said before, instead of the ball spinning that way, I'll change my wrist around and just kind of like spin it out the front, but it doesn't really spin. It kind of just like more drifts in the air and changes my pace a little bit. So that's really my only change-ups when I come to bowling. It's more, you can use your crease more in terms of like changing the angle that you bowl. Okay, so what we're going to start on first is our run up to the wicket. So our run up's quite important because that's where we start off. So what we're looking to do here is run quite straight at the wicket. So when we're running through the wicket, we're kind of trying to get the ball in a direct manner straight to the stumps because that's obviously what we're aiming for. So a lot of like common issues that come with young spinners is they start on quite a big angle, and when they come into bowl, it's almost like they're running in the opposite direction to where they want to be bowling, for example. So if I do a quick demonstration of this, and I'll come in here, and I'm going to start to bowl over here, and all of a sudden my body is facing in like a 45-degree direction that we don't want to be in. So almost I'm trying to bowl around my body then, and that's a lot of where a lot of drag downs and mistakes happen. So what we're going to try and do first is we're going to try and run in a straight line. So when we do that, we're kind of trying to hug the stumps as close as we can, and we're up and almost back foot's nearly almost hitting the stump. So we're hugging quite close to the stumps. So what that does is trying to get us in the best direction we can to get this ball down to the other end. It's quite straight, obviously. Yeah, so for example, I'm going to bowl one here. I'm going to come through, up and over. So that gets me all in a line to bowl the ball as straight as I can. So now I've bowled one with the way that I find quite effective to bowl. I'm going to show you what I was talking about a bit earlier when the bowler comes in, bowls quite square onto their body, what we call a bit square on. So I'm going to kind of exaggerate it a little bit just so you can notice what I'm doing. So I'm going to come through here. I'm quite wide of the wicket, as you can see, compared to my first one that I'm nearly almost hitting the stumps here. So my release point's always wider here. So I'm going to come and try and exaggerate it a little bit more so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. So if I'm coming over here, and almost my front foot almost goes over here straight away. So what you're trying to do, is trying to get as close as you can to the stumps, what I'm trying to say is, but when you're over here, you're almost getting forced to bowl around yourself like that. And that's where your arm starts to drop down a little bit as well. So that's not what we're after. Try and get that arm nice and high as well. Righto. Now we're at the space where we know where we want to be with our delivery. So we want to be nice and close to our stumps, but nice and straight on to where we want to bowl. And what we're going to do now is try and attempt to attack the crease. So what I mean by attacking the crease is committing to the ball. So we talk about commitment a lot about it in cricket, but when it comes to bowling, when I talk about committing to the ball, it's when you start your run up and actually want to bowl the ball. Not staying out up the top of your mark and saying, oh, I don't really want to bowl this because I'm going to get hit for 6. That's not committing to your ball. Every ball you should be committing to it and doing your best to get that ball down the other end the best you can, really. So what I mean by that is you want to hit that crease nice and quick. So talk about energy at the crease. So that's why we have a run-up, is to get to the crease, and then we need to snap through our action. So what I mean by that is we need to get through. So I'm going to slow it down first. So we need to get through, get nice and tall in your action, up and over. So it's quite a quick action to get through. So what we're talking about that, your run-up has to be like quite quick, but as soon as you get to that crease, you want to be into your action straight away. So when we come in, nice and quick, up into your action, okay? So once you really snap through that action, then you commit to the ball, and it should be pretty good every time you bowl. So the trend lately, especially in one-day cricket or 2020s, is they can be used quite early in innings when they've only got 2 fielders out. So basically the reason why they do that is just kind of try and sneak a few overs in without minimal damage to the scoreboard, really. So what I'm trying to do now, if say the captain's thrown me this ball and said, "You're opening the bowling, mate, do your best." So I'm going to go up to him and just say, "Okay, well, I want somewhere that I think I'm going to be hit. I'm going to put them out straight away." So for example, if I'm bowling this ball quite full to a batsman, the likelihood of me getting hit straight down the wicket is quite high. So I'm going to choose to put a mid-on out, for example, and then because I'm an off-spinning bowler, the ball's turning into the batsman. So I'm also going to put another one out on the leg side. So what I'm going to try and do now is just bowl a bit flatter to the batsman so they've only got really one side of the wicket to choose from. So I'm going to try and hit that batsman in the pads because I know that's almost cutting half the ground off that he can hit me to. Okay, so we've gone through what might happen as an opening bowler in terms of having fielders out and where I want to be hit. So I don't think anything more changes to when I'm going to bowl through the middle or towards the end, except for the fact that I'll have 5 fielders out now instead of 2. So the main fielders I'm going to have now as well is put the other one out at mid-off, put the other one out at cover as well, and I'm going to have 2 straight fielders straight in here so I can build pressure as well as defend. So what I mean by that is you can kind of attack while you're defending. So if you have 2 fielders quite straight that are quite good fielders, are going to stop you a lot of runs. So that way, a batsman's going to get quite tied down and trying to make a mistake. So what we're going to do is bowl a little bit slower again, just because we're in the middle of the overs now. We're not bowling as quick. We're giving the ball a chance to do something in the air now and try and make the batsman make a mistake. So what I'm trying to do now is just bowl a variation in so I can get the batsman out. So towards the middle and the end of an innings, the batsmen are going to be quite attacking at me. So that's when I have to trust my game and be attacking towards the batsman back. Otherwise, if it's pretty much I'm just going to be like a bowling machine, bowling to him, hit me out of the park, which I don't like doing. So I'm going to bowl quite attacking at his pads now. So again, if I'm a right-hand batsman, I'm bowling off spin. So that means the ball's coming into me. So basically, I'm going to try and bowl this ball and hit the guy in the pads every time. So if I miss too full, then he gets a lot of room to hit me over mid-on and mid-off. But if I can hit him nearly in the thigh guard here every time, then he hasn't got a lot of option to hit me straight or work me off the pad. So that's the best option I can have, is to make the batsman work me off their pad for a single. Spin bowling is a class, and it's not for everyone, but it's a lot of fun when you can do it right. And all the advice I have to say is commit to the ball you're bowling and have fun while you're doing it. Just make sure when you're in the nets, the batsmen down there, they're not just to hit your balls, okay? You're here to work on something. And that's one thing I think to take out of every training session is to try and work on something. You're not here to try and just bowl millions of balls at the batsman. Otherwise, they're just going to sit here and crunch you every day of the week. So get in there, have some fun, try different variations, see what you can do, and that's about it.